Thank you everyone for coming for this little award ceremony. We'll get started now. First, I wanted to introduce Janine Kansler, who helped judge to award the prizes. Janine helps out every year to judge the Freedom and Unity Youth Filmmaking Contest, which this emerging showcase used to be part of and has now moved into the main part of the festival. But so glad that Janine was able to join us and watch the films. Janine, would you like to say a few words?
Sure, yeah. So I have been making film now since I was very young, and I helped start White River Indie Film. I make documentaries to this day, and I give this award in the name of my son, Jamie Kanzler, who passed away in 2013. He is an avid filmmaker, and he's a poet and a musician and a printmaker and that sort of a guy. And he had a great sense of humor, and he also deeply cared about people. So I give this award in his name.
Thank you, Janine. So all these prizes we're going to give out are in Jamie's honor, and we will start with our honorable mention, which goes to Patricia for Alone Together. Patricia Bubis, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, yeah, it's Bubis.
Awesome. Yeah, we felt your film really reflected the current moment and was artistically interesting. And we definitely thought it captured some of the feelings that we were all experiencing right now about the challenges around making film. Janine?
Yes, I loved this film, and thank you for making it. I thought it was really tight. It's a great idea. The images were fabulous. I loved the humor that you managed to incorporate in this, because we see quite a few COVID films, and this is just wonderful. Your images were great. I loved the way the voices were, that, there's that Zoom echoey thing going on, but you really matched it well with the images. And I found it haunting, and I loved how tight it was. So thank you for making that film. And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And our third place winner is 501 for Rachel Phillips and Samantha. Are you both on that team?
Yes.
Yeah.
So who's who here? So, Samantha, okay, and Rachel, great.
Yeah, and we were really excited to award this film. Social justice is an extremely important issue for us at WRIF, and especially taking a look in the mirror and seeing things that the film industry itself can improve. We thought your film did a great job of highlighting that issue and touching on, parts of the industry that WRIF is actively trying to improve by bringing as many women, BIPOC, trans, every different identifying filmmaker that we can to help leverage their voices. So thank you so much for your film. Janine?
Yes, I was really amazed by this film, and also so disappointed in the culture that exists out there in higher education. And I'm really glad you made this film. Yeah, it definitely was exposing gender bias in an academic setting. I know that there's deep sexism and racism in the business, and sort of like upper levels. I have friends that are really involved with that. And I was just really disappointed that, to say the least, that this was a culture going on in the classroom like this. And I think you really shot it really nicely. I was amazed at some of the people that you were, the males that you were interviewing seemed to still hold on to that kind of bias, even though they were sort of pretending or something that they were letting go of their bias. So I think it was a very powerful film, and thank you both for making it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now for our second place winner, Noah's Last Day by Cedar. Thank you so much, Cedar, for joining us. We really loved just the playful spirit of your film. You know, it definitely touched on some of the issues of isolation and political tension that we're feeling these days, but through the eyes of a young person, really, you know, brought it emotionally home in a way that it felt like, you know, some of those issues have gotten so tired during the last election year, and with everyone going through COVID, and seeing it from a fresh perspective was really great. And I also love that we got the ending that we wanted. That made me very happy. Janine?
Yes, I love this film. I thought I was so impressed how beautifully filmed, how beautifully shot it is. Your landscapes, even how you do close-ups, everything was really brilliant and very moving. I thought, so you're the filmmaker, and then another Cedar is there's two different Cedars, right? Or not?
Yeah. The lead actor, the child, her name was also Cedar, so I don't know.
Okay,
It's just
cool.
a great coincidence.
Yeah, well, yeah, she was right? She was like incredible at acting. I thought that they did an amazing performance, and yeah, just again that feeling of space and isolation, different spaces during this time. Yeah, I thank you for making the film. And where are you involved? Steele Elementary School, or where are you? Because I couldn't see. Are you in college, or where are you?
Yeah, I'm in college. So that was all filmed in Colorado, where I go to college.
Oh, okay, great. And did you grow up in Vermont, or how did you know about this film?
So I'm moving to White River Junction.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like next month, pretty much, with my girlfriend who got into the Center for Cartoon Studies.
Oh, congratulations. That's great. I was just wondering like the connection was there, but that's,
Oh yeah.
yeah, congratulations. And yeah, great film. Thank you for making it.
Well, that's
Thank you
awesome.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Cedar.
I just wanted to say thanks for your like kind words and stuff.
Yeah, well, you did a great film, and it's really hard to make a great film.
Yeah,
All of
speaking
them are
of
great films. All of them are great films. Yeah. Yeah, and it is so important for us to hear your voices. You know, we get caught in our own worlds, and the moment that I see and hear your voices like this, it's very important for us in every way that hopefully you'll stay involved making film, and also you know, volunteering or whatever, getting involved. We really hope you do that.
Well, Duane Peterson III, thank you so much for joining us today. We are very pleased to announce that your film Jetline is the top prize for the WRIF Emerging Filmmaker Showcase.
Wow.
Everyone really felt like the film captured a lot of the tension and anxiety we're feeling trapped at home in the current moment. And you know, whether it's, you know, a massive war plane flying over your house or your neighbor's weed whacker, like the kind of bodily tension that I think we're all carrying is something that your film addresses head on, but especially as it pertains to why there would be warplanes in Vermont, and just that, you know, that clash. Everyone really felt the film's message strongly. And Janine is here. Janine traditionally gives awards for freedom and unity and for this college adult category in honor of her son, Jamie Kanzler. And so Janine would like to share her thoughts on your film as well.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, May, for making the film. Very beautiful film. I thought that there's a brilliant use of the haunting quiet of COVID time with those ominous tape recordings. So the combination to me was just deeply moving. and fear-inspiring, threatening. But I also like how you included people that were, you know, of course you had to, but you still did it very well, people that were for the jets. And I loved the shots. I loved the shots of the houses just standing still, or the people in the street on their bikes with the masks. I thought it was very apocalyptic and, you know, in a sense reminded me of David Lynch, but I actually thought it was better. And I just think you have a great eye. I felt that when I wasn't watching the film, I was thinking about it, which is unusual. I look at films all the time. I'm a documentary filmmaker. I just kept thinking about it, and yeah, that's really it. Thank you for making the film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add in, I love the shot of the tattered American flag in the
Oh, yeah.
snow. Like
Yeah.
that is just like one of the most beautiful images on film I've seen all year. So just
Wow.
like real praise for your framing and oh, and now here's Patrick.
Here's Patrick, and actually Patrick is the one. Sorry, yeah, I did just text him, so I'm glad that he'll be able to join us, and hope it doesn't interrupt. But Patrick was the one who shot the film. He did all the camera work, and I did pretty much all the editing. And we considered it a co-directorship because we were both making, making the big decisions together along the way.
Well, your editing was brilliant.
Thank you.
And the way you really, you know, it's always hard to choose how long you're going to have a scene to create a certain mood, and nothing was forced. And it was, I don't know, I just found it deeply penetrating, deeply evocative. So, you know, editing is everything. So you did a brilliant job with that.
Well, thank you so much. Is this, am I supposed to give some kind of acceptance? Or here's Patrick.
Speech? No, this can be
Unless
very
you have one prepared.
Not really. Patrick, we have won the top prize for the
we loved your film. It's, you know, it's been great seeing all of the forms of creativity that people took, you know, trying to discuss the pandemic without talking about it head on, because I think everyone is exhausted by actually talking about COVID, but there's a lot of unprocessed feelings and anxiety that people haven't really been able to explore. And your film does a great job with that while also touching on other very important issues. So excited about that. We were just talking about your amazing camera work, Patrick. That we love the framing of the shots. I mentioned I especially love the fluttering tattered American flag in the snow, like just some really great framing that was also paired very well with the audio to tell a story in, you know, during a time when it's very difficult to tell a story at all. So yeah, I'd just love to hear from both of you about, you know, what was your experience like making the film? How did you find these audio recordings for one? Like,
Yeah,
did you set up that hotline?
Yeah. Well, so Duane and I were meeting socially distanced. Like we started the project on lawn chairs in my front yard, and there was this like feeling of wanting to tell this story during COVID. And I think the hotline kind of came out of necessity, but it turned out to be a much more meaningful path to like an honest, really personal format for storytelling. And people really poured their heart out on the hotline. And uh-oh, I've got a 2-year-old invading the room here. Sorry.
Totally fine.
I can pick up there.
We like it.
Duane, you pick it up.
Sure. Yes, so yeah, like Patrick said, we kind of Patrick and I both co-curate the Climate Action Film Festival. So we had been working closely on that. And after watching hundreds and hundreds of films together, we had built up this vast kind of shared visual reference, and we're really in tune with these people telling stories from around the world, and we kind of saw an opportunity to collaborate and to tell a story here. And so we pretty quickly landed on the F-35 as an issue that we identified as overlooked and underreported on. It's something that affects people in this area on a near daily basis, but we thought that people just weren't talking about it, or it wasn't receiving the attention that we thought it deserved. So yeah, we started this hotline. We've got this little miniature version of the poster that we used.
Cool.
And so we put this all over Burlington and Winooski, inviting people to call in and leave anonymous voicemails.
Wow. That was
And
really smart.
yeah, so
And in doing that, we weren't able to in a traditional sense, write out how we felt the documentary would go. We really removed our voice from the process and let the community narrate this film. And Duane, riding his bike around, putting up these posters over the course of months. We drove over 130 phone calls, and so it's like three plus hours of audio. And of that audio, we basically condensed like a representative body of calls to narrate the film. And we didn't really know what to expect, but what we ended up hearing in these voicemails, like it would like stop us in our tracks whenever a new call would come in. The grief and the honesty of these calls was like overwhelming for us, and it really fueled this sense of duty to our neighbors. Like when we started hearing these voices, it was like we have to do everything we can to get this out there and try to drive this project as far as we can. We just screened it in Tucson last night because they're sort of, maybe you were talking about this before I got on, but they're sort of creating a grassroots effort to oppose the F-35 being based in Tucson, Arizona. And so another big purpose of making a film like this was, let's make it available to groups in other cities across the country so that people know what Burlington has experienced after a year of having them based here. And so, yeah, anyway, the calls really did surprise us and created this even bigger motivation for us to keep pushing the project.
How many people called in?
Ultimately, over 130. The hotline is still open. We haven't closed it, but we have stopped putting out posters since we have wrapped up with the film. I think when we had finished the film, we were at maybe 115, and maybe another 15 have come in the last month or so. But yeah, over 3 hours of audio, and we have made all of the voicemails that we've received publicly available to listen to. So it's on archive.org, on the Internet Archive, which is a fantastic resource. And it's linked on our website, jetlinefilm.com. So you can listen to all the voicemails in full if you're interested.
Oh, okay.
Wow. One of the things that's kind of interesting about the concept of using the hotline is, of course, Vermont is very famous for its town meetings and how involved everyone is in local politics, but those town meetings often have a certain flavor of, everyone's very concerned about the rules, and, that there's sort of some jockeying for local political power and all of that, and that you get to strip those elements away and just really hear from the people and have this community conversation happening in a more honest, raw way than I think we get to experience in a town meeting kind of setting. So, it really reflected the values that WRIF has of wanting to create community around film, use film to address the issues that affect people in our community, and to further a dialogue around it. And as you said, this is an issue that, we in White River, just down the way, aren't necessarily experiencing, but we certainly care now that we know about it, about the folks up in Burlington and what they're going through. So thank you so much for bringing that issue to our audience's attention, and for so masterfully portraying the community spirit coming around this issue. So thank you for your film.
Yeah, thank you for your film.
I want to say something about that. And WRIF, honestly, That's what's so inspiring about festivals like RIF. When Duane and I, one thing we have in common is that we were just frustrated teenagers who took to holding a camera to try to, change the world. And as you said, like town meetings can be really intimidating. Like I come from a family that really has never been politically engaged. We're working people. And so I think for a lot of residents of Burlington and Winooski, like that political process can be alienating or just so far removed from their circle. And really there isn't a normalized process for people to get engaged. And so what's great about filmmaking, especially independent filmmaking, is it gives people a voice and a shortcut to making issues like this seen and discussed. And so we're really appreciative of what you're doing with RIF. I think emerging filmmakers are really the ones to watch. So thank you.
We are.
Couldn't have put it better myself. So thank you so much for, I hope we can see you again next year, as long as you're still under 30.
I will be for another year or two.
All right, great. Because we'd love to see more work from both of you. And in the meantime, thank you so much for sharing with our RIF audiences. I'm going to post this fascinating Q&A as soon as I have it ready, so that folks who are watching the showcase this weekend can learn more about how you put it together. But thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for your work, and best of luck with the next project, whatever it is.
Yeah, thank you so much. Brilliant film.
Thank you, Joanna, and thank you, Janine. This has been
You're
great.
welcome. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
That's a wrap, everybody.
Hey.
Bye.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.